Hey everyone, I'm going to give you guys 1 minute before we officially get started. But you guys already know how I do. I don't play no games. We are going to start at 8 o'clock. I'm going to give you guys one more minute to come on in and join us. Text your friends. Let everybody know we about to get started. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys 2, 3 minutes. Text anybody that you think would benefit. Hey, Melina, my little love bucket from this class. We have a jam packed schedule. Y'all already know how I do. I'm trying to bring value to your entire life. So text anybody that's currently not in the room and let them know, hey, Elaine's about to get started. You do not want to miss this session. I wish we had some music, but I don't want to break any YouTube rules. I'll give you guys 1 more minute. Hey, Rosie. My girls are on time. I'm here for it. Hey, Veronica. Okay, so it is 8 p.m. We are going to get started. Listen, you guys already know how I do. If you are new in these streets, my name is Elaine Gonzalez Johnson. I am a serial entrepreneur. I'm mostly known for creating my personal brands, my nonprofit organization, Latinas in Motion. But I also have an LLC called Mogul Mami, which is why we're here today. And if you guys know me, if you guys been following me for some time, you would know that I started this Mogul Mami brand because I was tired of us using this word mogul to talk about Oprah as a media mogul and Diddy as a music mogul. But here we are living in our excellence, working in our power, and we don't use this term with each other, right? So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take two words, mogul and mommy, and I'm going to put them together. And so mogul means very powerful person. Mommy, Mami, because I'm Latina and I'm a mom. I wanted to showcase that you can be all the things that God created you to be. So I didn't want to have to choose. I didn't want to have to choose between being a great mom or running a great business, of loving my husband and loving my purpose, right? I wanted to make sure that I can do both things and do both things well. Come on, somebody. And so this Mogul Mommy brand, we're using it. I mean, I use it every day, but we're using it this month to empower women, to empower you, and celebrate Women's History Month by celebrating you. So if you're watching this and you know for sure that you have an idea, you know for sure that God told you to do something, but you have no idea where to start, I'm glad you joined us, baby girl, because one thing I know that you know that I know is that we're in this together. It's that we got each other. It's that if I reach the level, I'm going to make sure I make room for all my girls to join me. And I'm so, so grateful for Snipes for sponsoring this month, this series, so that you can be here today. There's this like conversation of, is personal development important? This conversation of, should we get better? And the answer is yes. Personal development is so important. And I'm so excited about talking about personal branding tonight. But it's like we need to learn to value not only who we are, but whose we are. You already know I'm about to talk about the Lord. Okay. If you know me, like me, you've been following me for some time, you know I love God. But here's the thing, we have to make sure that we give ourselves permission to walk in the fullness of what we know that we're called to do. And it's so funny because as I was prepping and preparing for tonight's session, I was thinking about my brand, right? My personal brands. Like, how can I make sure that I'm breaking it down to you so that you never forget? And I thought about this amazing experience that happened in real life, guys. Like, I'm not joking. This legitimately happened to your girl. So, a couple years ago, I got an email. And in the email subject line, it said, Latinas in Motion and and First Lady Michelle Obama. Go ahead, go ahead and clench your invisible pearls, because what if that was in your email box, right? Like, is this real life? Am I being punked? And when I opened up this email, I'm like, oh my gosh, it said, hello, Elaine. My name is so and so. I'm calling from the office of Michelle Obama. I'm emailing from the office of Michelle Obama. And we want to offer you tickets to attend the Michelle Obama Becoming Tour. So, one of the things about my forever First Lady is that whenever she does programming, she ties 10% of her tickets for free to organizations led by women. Come on. Come on, abundance. Come on, Lord, making a way out of no way. And so when I received this email, I legit did not think it was real. And so the first lesson I want you to write down in personal branding is to always go as you. Okay. First lesson, first tip, first tool for your toolbox is to always go as you. And so as I received this email, I emailed back. No lie. I wish I would have like screenshotted this to show you guys, but I emailed them back. OMG, I just died. Right. And so immediately they email me back and they're like, oh my goodness, the whole office just laughed because we've never received an email response like this. I'm like, I wasn't sure if I was being punked. And so they were like, do you mind if we call you? Again, this is all correspondence going back and forth on email. I'm like, yes, here's my number 215, right? So I give them my number. I receive a call. Like, guys, I'm not making this up. This really happened. I receive a call from the office of forever First Lady Michelle Obama. And so they had me on speakerphone. And so they're like, oh my goodness, like you have great energy. They they felt my quote unquote great energy over email. You want to know why? Because I wanted to make sure that in everything that I do, whether if I'm walking, talking, emailing, texting, that you always feel me, that no matter where I'm going, I am sprinkling good vibes like confetti, because it's important to my core values that I am authentic in everything that I do. So even receiving an email from the First Lady, I'm still going to, OMG, I just died, LOL. Why? Because in any room that I go, virtual or not, I always want to walk in the fullness of who I know I am and who I know God created me to be. And so here why this is why this story is important. It wasn't because they gave Latinas in Motion 100 tickets. That was great, right? That was, thank you, Lord. But what happened after that? 2 weeks later, I receive a call from the same office. We want to talk to you about an opportunity. I'm like, oh my gosh, yes. They're like, would you mind sharing what you are becoming for a video? I'm like, sure, I got you. I will share what I'm becoming. What do I need to do? Well, you need to write 4 sentences. I'm like, okay, great. Got it. Who you are and what you're becoming. Great. So the tour day comes. This was November 2018. Tour day comes, right? Forever First Lady is at the Wells Fargo Center, and I'm there with my Latinas in Motion crew. We're heavy. I'm wearing my Latinas in Motion shirt. I got some dress pants on because, I had to snazz it up with some little kitten heels. And so I'm sitting in my seat with my friends, with Latinas in Motion. Like, we're just in there having the time of our lives, excited about what's about to happen. And so never once in the calls or in the email correspondence did they say, you will be on stage. When they said, would you share your statement? I thought I was going to share it for like a video. Like, at this point, 2018, you guys remember, I started Latinas in Motion in 2012. So in 2018, I've done tons of media, press interviews, magazine articles, right? And so I thought it's just going to be a regular thing. Well, lo and behold, someone from security walks all the way up to the nosebleeds. And here's the thing. Yes, we were in the nosebleeds, but we were in the room. How many of you guys are blocking your blessing because you're too worried about where your seat is at? I think I just preach to myself. You better get in the room. You better get in the room. This is like a little tiny praise party. But one of my favorite preachers, TD Jakes, he says, even if you get the crumbs of the crumbs of the cake are made with the same ingredients as the cake. And some of you guys are so caught up in you don't want to eat crumbs that you don't realize you're given the ingredients, Bill. And so, right back to my story, this is a great example of that because I was in the nosebleeds sitting in gratitude when security comes all the way up to the nosebleeds to come get me, little old me, little North Philly John from Ella and Tioga, who went to inner city schools her whole life, came all the way up top to get your girl. Okay. And so they're like, okay, will you follow us? I'm like, absolutely. So I'm following them. And I thought we were going to go to a green room. Again, I thought we were just going to record this session. We go down to the first floor, right? Because I was in the nosebleed. So we're in the Wells Fargo Center coming all the way down. Then we get to the backstage. So my heart starts to race. I'm not even going to front. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm about to meet Shelly and I got kitten heels on. I didn't even wear my good shoes. And I'm just thinking like, oh my gosh, what's about to happen? So I get backstage. There are 3 other women and DJ Jazzy Jeff. Yes, he was in the building. And I'm like, what is going on? And so somebody from production comes and says, okay, guys, we have to mic you up because we're going to make sure that you guys are on the right center of the stage to share your becoming statement. I'm like, oh my gosh, I had left my phone with my friends, y'all. I couldn't even text Husband. Dr. Husband was not there because Dr. Husband thought it was going to be a Latinas in Motion event. Had he known his wife was going to be center stage, I couldn't even text him. I didn't have my phone to text him to say, babe, I'm about to go on stage. I'm about to meet Shelly. I'm over here kicking it up with DJ Jazzy Jeff. Like all these things are happening. And at the same time, I'm thinking like, how did I get here? I got here by being myself. I got here by having the audacity to be authentic. When everybody thinks it's popular to be one way, I decided I want to live in purpose and do things God's way. I want to make sure that if I'm walking into a room, I'm talking like Elaine. Whenever I'm on stage, I look like Elaine. I don't want to be anybody else than who God created me to be. And it led me to a stage in front of 18,000 people at a sold out Michelle Obama book tour. And I was center stage. There were 5 people. A woman, me, another woman, and DJ Jazzy Jeff. Like the amount of favor on my life that I was legitimately center stage. And because I am authentic in everything that I do, when I had the opportunity to share who I am and what I do, I was not nervous. I was not nervous. You want to know why I was not nervous? Because I've been doing the same thing for years before. Because I got to share who I was, where I came from, and the impact I was having on my community for 3 minutes. But those 3 minutes changed my life. In 3 minutes, I decided that in every single room, in every text message, phone call, and email, it is absolutely okay to be myself. From that day on, I gave myself the permission I needed to walk in the authentic, in the authentic audacity to be myself. I did. And I want that for you. I want that for you so bad. So many times we're looking left and right. We're looking at social media. We're looking at other people's titles and we want what they have. And the entire time we're looking at other people, the creator's looking at you and saying, baby girl, I have so much for your life if you just decide to go as you. If you just decide to go as you. And so I thought that that moment was great for me and great for my friends. Like when I tell you, I could hear my friends, my Latinas in Motion members screaming from the nosebleeds. I heard it. I heard it. And like, even though they said I had 2 minutes, I did a little dance. I took my time. Listen, when the light is on you, you better take your time. Take your time. What were they going to do? Not shine the light? I'm like, I'm from North Philly. My name's Elaine. It was magical. But the second point I want to tell you, do not let the light that's on you make you forget about the light that's in you. Do not let the light that's on you make you forget about the light that's in you. Too many times I see people that I love, people that I care about, shrink to fit a box that they were never designed to fit in. Ever, ever. Do not let a school, corporation, job, career, title, friend, family member make you think you're less than you know that you were designed to be. Don't do that to yourself. You were created with so much thought. Like, yo, your eyebrows were thought out, boo. Your hair texture, that was thought out too. The fullness of your lips, that was thought out too. Your face, your smile, your voice, every single thing about you was thought out by the creator himself. And here you think you're not good enough. And here you think you don't like the sound of your voice. And here you think, let me change my hair because I don't like it this way. Embrace who you are. Who you are is that's your secret sauce. Who you are is your gift. So when we're talking about personal brands, we're talking about persons. We're talking about you. We can't talk about branding without talking about who you are. We can't talk about branding if you don't know who you are. We can't talk about progressing in ourselves if we haven't figured out and gotten comfortable with presenting ourselves as our most authentic selves. Right? We together? We together or y'all quiet today? I need to feel y'all energy. Make sure you blow up the chat so I can feel your good energy. So when we're talking about personal brands, you have to know that the closer you are to being your authentic self, the more people will know, like, and trust you. And here's the thing about business. People only do business with people who they know, like, trust. Let me give you guys an example. With Chick-fil-A, okay, one thing about me, guys, I love Chick-fil-A so much. Y'all can judge me. Y'all can judge me if y'all want to, but I love Chick-fil-A so much. And the thing is that I can go to Chick-fil-A in Alaska, and the Chick-fil-A in Alaska, they're going to say, my pleasure, right? If I go to Chick-fil-A in North Philadelphia, you know what they're going to say? My pleasure. The one thing about Chick-fil-A that I absolutely love is that their level of excellence is across the board. So much so, I know, like, and trust this brand that when I'm on the drive-through line and they hand me my bag, I don't even check to see if they got my order right because I just know that Chick-fil-A got my order right. You know what I'm saying? And so when we're talking about personal brands, and they got their personal branding down to a T. Okay. Now, when I go to some other places, let's say I go to Wendy's, I am triple checking. Are my nuggets in there? Did they get my fries right? Because it's not the same type of level, not the same type of excellence. You have to decide, what do you want to represent? What do you want to represent? What does your brand say about you? Target. Let's talk about Target. Let's talk about Target. One thing about Target, they never let your girl down. I could go into Target for toothpaste, $2 toothpaste, and I'm going to walk out of there with $200 of things that I didn't even know that I needed, because Target never lets me down. When we're thinking about brands, you have to know that you, my friends, you are a brand, whether you like it or not. Maybe you're on this call and you're like, sis, I don't even want to start a business. I'm just here for myself and my career. You don't think you have a personal brand at your job? Because let me tell you something. When I was working for the school district of Philadelphia, the one thing we do well is we know how to read people. We knew who was the person that had all the tea and gossip. Okay, that's a brand. That is a personal brand. We know who always had the best baked goods. That too is a personal brand, right? So it doesn't matter if you're in your career or if you're starting a business. Honey, who are you? What do you represent? What are your core values? Do people know, like, and trust you enough to believe in the work that you're doing? Because career, 9 to 5 business, side hustler, side business, at the end of the day, you have purpose and you have to work that purpose. And in working that purpose, you have to make sure that who you are is aligned with what you want to represent. There's so many people that I meet that are like, I feel like I want to do this, but people don't know me for this. They think I'm that. You got to work on your personal brand then, boo. The best compliment I receive is when people meet me and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you're exactly who you are on Instagram." Well, thank you. I don't want to be anything other than who I make sure I am in real life and on social media. We together? Everybody say yes. Everybody say yes. Okay. So, when we're talking about social media and we're talking about personal branding, okay, I want you to know what the goal for social media is, for your social media. If you want to use social media to promote yourself or to promote products, you need to know what the goals are for social media. For social media, the goal is to educate your audience. All right. Social media goals: educate your audience, entertain your audience, or empower your audience. All right. So those are the 3 E's. Social media, when you're using social media, the goal is to educate your audience, entertain your audience, or empower your audience. You have to decide how you want to use your social media to represent you. Again, people only do business with people who they know, like, and trust. So if I'm telling people, who I am, I'm going to use these different layers. I'm going to educate people, and that could look like educating people on a certain topic. So I have a friend who is in finance. She is an amazing financial advisor. And so with tax season coming up, she'll say, okay, as you get your tax refunds, these are 3 things you can invest in with your refund check. She's educating her audience. She's giving her audience a tangible, real description of how they can make their money make more money. She's using it to educate. Okay. When we're talking about entertainment, TikTok is really good for this. I personally do not use a TikTok, but TikTok is really great for entertaining people. Okay. So just the other day I was looking at, I have a golden doodle dog. So just the other day I was like hashtagging golden doodle memes or golden doodle funny, and there were like all these golden doodles doing the most craziest things, but it was entertaining. So there are a lot of people on social media who are doing TikTok dances, right? They'll do them on TikTok and they'll do them on Instagram. That is a way to entertain your audience. And I'm really excited for our special guest, Annie. Annie is great at mixing all of these different layers into her social media. She will definitely entertain you, educate you, and empower you. Next, if you guys have any questions about what I'm talking about, make sure to drop them in the chat so that we can get to it, because I know it kind of gets tricky when we're talking about these different strategies. The next thing, empowering your audience, right? So like on my social media, I hope that I do that for y'all. Y'all can comment and let me know if I do that for y'all. But the goal of my social media, I want people to come to my page, whether it be Facebook or Instagram, and I want them to leave my page feeling like, yes, I can. I just better. Let me go work out. Let me go fall in love. Let me go be a better parent. Like, I want to showcase so much of myself and what I do so that number one, you don't feel alone. And number two, you know that you can too. My goal is to make sure you do not feel alone in this journey. My goal is to make sure you're empowered to be your best self, not my best self, your best self. I want you to know that you have a gift. I want you to know that you have value. I want you to know that you have purpose. And so with my social media, I try to be more empowering than I am entertaining, right? Like my dance moves, they ain't it. They ain't it. You gotta know you. You gotta know you. Cause some of these videos I be looking at, I be like, sis ain't got it. But she trying. She's trying. So you gotta know you. Figure out, okay, what strategies do I want to use to make sure that I'm getting my messaging across to my audience? Okay. The next thing, you have to figure out who you're talking to. So for me, I feel like my audience, my business avatar, the people that I want to work with are women. Women, so that's one layer, right? But they're women who want help, women who need more strategies, women who want to further their business, women who are ready to dream out loud. I already know that my audience, I want them to be women. I want them to be women who are ready to work, right? So when I'm creating content, making sure that I'm hitting these different buckets. Because here's the thing, let's say that I'm creating content, right? And then a bunch of retired men are watching my Instagram and Facebook. That's not my audience. That's not who I'm trying to get to hire me, to buy my products, to join me at my events. And so I would have to look at my audience and be like, okay, this isn't working, because I might be entertaining to them, but it's not translating in converting into dollars. Are we together? Give me a yes, girl. We're together. So you have to know who you're talking to, so that when you're creating content and when you're telling stories, you have to know who's on the other side of that phone, of that computer, because there might be things that you're sharing that have absolutely nothing to do with the goal that you want to hit. Nothing. So, like, certain times I'll show videos of my dog. I got a dog. Just the other day, my dog was talking back to me. And I show this on my Instagram stories and my Facebook stories. Number one, to show that I'm a real person, right? Number two, to show that I got some humor. I'm funny. I'm a girl from around the way. Number three, if you have a golden doodle and you want to be my mentor, let me know. But it's sprinkles of that, right? All of the content that I have on my page is not just of my dog, because if so, what are we doing, right? I have to show people that I'm an expert in what it is that I'm doing. So if you know for sure that you're an expert, honey, if no one knows that, who can hire you? So if you are a fitness coach and you never share, hey, I'm a fitness coach. Hey, I'm a fitness coach. Meet me here because I'm a fitness coach. But then you're mad that you post one flyer and nobody attended. What's wrong there? Another thing you need to know, it takes people 7 times to see something before they hit that purchase button. So if you post one flyer and you think you're going to convert into $1,000, if you do, great. But if you don't, I need you to know that it takes people 7 times to see something before they say, you know what, I need that cup. I need that shirt. I need to attend that Zumba class. I want to hire that personal trainer. Stop being scared to show your excellence. Stop thinking that the market is too saturated. I hate that. Oh, but there's so many other nail techs. Them nail techs are not you. Oh my gosh, but there's so many other people in fitness. Those people in fitness, they're not you. Oh my goodness, so many other people are selling a planner. Guess who don't care? Not me. I will promote my Plan Pray Slay planner till the end. It will be August, it will be February, it will be Christmas Day and Thanksgiving. And guess what? I will Plan Pray Slay you. Y'all finna be sick of me. I absolutely love that little TikTok audio. You finna be sick of me. Why? Because you know what? If Target is cool with all those commercials, so is Elaine Gonzalez Johnson. If McDonald's is cool with all those commercials, so is Elaine Gonzalez Johnson. I do not know one person that be like, oh my gosh, here's another McDonald's commercial. You know what you do? You sit and wait for your show to come back on. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, it's the same thing. If you don't like my commercial, sit and wait until whatever you want to come on. Because guess what? I will not apologize for showcasing what I know my purpose is, because guess what? My purpose may not be for you. My purpose is for somebody. So maybe you don't want my Plan Pray Slay planner, but somebody does. And so I will continue to market myself and not apologize for it. You shouldn't either. Social media is free. If somebody is like, oh my gosh, Jomira, you are irking me with all your posts. Jomira could say, you know what? There is a nice little button that says unfollow. Oh my goodness, Johanna, you are irking me talking about how much you love so and so. You can hit unfollow. You better be unapologetic about your excellence. You better stop playing with your purpose. Because if you know that I know, if you missed last week, make sure you watch last week's episode. But last week we talked about how our purpose is attached to people and we don't play with our purpose. So we will not be playing when we are strategizing how we're going to make sure that people know what it is that we're doing. And we can convert people from watching us to hiring us, people from watching us to purchasing our products. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay. So we have a few more minutes before my special guest comes on. Next, when you're looking at social media, your audience is going to tell you what they want to see more of. So sometimes you'll look at your social media, whether that be Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and people will engage with you. That's why it's called engagement. When people are commenting on your videos, commenting on your reels, commenting on your photos, they're telling you, hey, I love to see this. I want to see more of this. When people are liking what it is that you're doing, they're telling you, hey, keep this content coming. Now, if you're so committed to what it is that you're posting that you're not paying attention to what your audience is telling you, I'm going to tell you that from here on out, you're going to do a better job at looking at your content and starting to think about, okay, what do people always comment on? What do people always hit like on? And what posts and videos am I doing that is crickets? Those videos that are crickets, I'm gonna need you to delete them. So I'm gonna give you an example. If I'm posting a picture of myself looking real cute on a beach, and I could think that I'm looking real cute on a beach, but no one comments, no one likes it, that means no one cares that I'm on a beach. But then I will post a picture of me and Dr. Husband sitting under a partridge in a pear tree, and I will get 38 comments. Oh my gosh, you guys are so cute. Hashtag couple goals. Oh my gosh, you guys are so precious. Now I know y'all like to be in my business. So guess what I'm gonna do? Every time I'm with Dr. Husband, let's take a little selfie so that I could keep my audience engaged. Guys, strategy. If you think I just wake up and say, you know what, today I'm gonna post a flower. No, it doesn't work that way. I sit down and literally look at what is my audience telling me that they like to see. And I use that data to create more content. And you want to know what happens? When I'm strategic in my content creation, I get more shares, I get more followers, and I could care less about followers. I don't care if you have 100 or 1,000. My goal is to get as many fresh eyes on my products, on my services as possible. Because the more people are looking at me and what I'm doing, I know that I'm great at what I do. But the more people see that I'm great at what I do, I can convert those people into customers. Okay. All right. So my special guest is here. And so I don't want to take up too much of her time because she is just a star. Okay. So here's the thing. I met Annie years ago. I met Annie before Annie was like Annie. Okay. And she was always that girl. Like, when I first met her, she just had this great energy about her. She was unapologetically herself. And I remember this from day one. So, like, seeing her now with all the success, homegirl lives on vacation. She's probably in Costa Rica right now tuning in. But like, just to see her dreaming out loud, just to see her walking in her purpose, just to see her serving the world with her excellence, to me, it makes me so proud to see her journey and just to see her winning. I love to see her win. And the crazy thing is, when we were putting this together, this partnership with Snipes, I had said, listen, I asked Snipes, do you guys mind if I bring some of my moguls on these calls, just share 10, 15 minutes? Because I don't think that God gives me these platforms just for me, right? These platforms are for all of us to come together, to mastermind, to win together. And when I hit up Annie, Annie was like, absolutely. And the thing is like, I came at her real professional. I didn't hit her with like, hey girl, hey. I'm like, hey Annie, just got this partnership. I want to know because number one, I respect her purpose. But number two, I know homegirl is out here living her best life. And you want to know what she told me? Absolutely. Absolutely. So you're about to meet this firecracker mogul who is living in purpose, who is changing relationships. I don't want to give too much away because it's so dope what she does, but she is pro woman, like so dope. And I'm so excited for you guys to meet her. So make sure you guys are using the chat because we have it for about 10, 15 minutes. And I want to make sure if you have any questions, you get them answered before she leaves. So I want to welcome none other than my girl, my friend, my fellow mogul, Annie White. Hello,
Hi.
gorgeous.
Hey, y'all. Hey.
You look so beautiful.
Thank you. You do too. You was spitting that wisdom. Educate the people.
Thank you. Okay, so Annie, tell us who you are, what you do, and all about the products that you sell.
Okay. So, one, thank you for having me. I'm so honored. You are so amazing. You are like total life success goals for me. So, thank you, thank you, thank you. I couldn't thank you enough. Um, I am Annie White. I am a serial entrepreneur, but my most recognizable brand is I sell vaginal vitamins, and they are vaginal suppositories. Drop an emoji if you know about the vaginal vitamins. They are vaginal suppositories made from one all natural ingredient, the borate mineral, and that keeps women at our perfect pH balance. So if you have a vaginal infection, it'll restore you to your perfect pH balance in hours. It'll treat it in hours and eliminate it in days. And when you're at your perfect pH balance, don't tell nobody, but you're sweeter than you've ever been, you're wetter than you've ever been, and you will have no vaginal odor even on your period, ladies. Okay. So if you don't already have that going on down there, go to V Vitamins on Instagram or vaginalvitamins.com and get you some. Oh,
Listen,
Lisa, okay, I see y'all. Thank y'all. I love y'all.
listen here. So it's so funny because I asked Annie for her picture and her bio. And so when I was meeting with the Snipe team, they're like, vaginal vitamins. I'm like, it is Women's History Month. Spoiler alert, women, we have vaginas. Like, hello. And I think like when we talk about women and sexuality, I feel like it's so taboo. Like we're not allowed to be sexual or we're not allowed to tap in, right? And so the one thing I will tell you is that I am a forever customer of Annie White. Okay.
Okay.
It is a game changer in my marriage. I've been married almost 14 years, y'all. You better keep it fresh. You better keep it new. You better just do it, right? But Annie, tell us about how you went from being a stressed out solopreneur to now having employees living on vacation.
Oh my God. So I think, I really worked myself into the hospital. I had so much stress. I burst my own appendix. And when I was in the hospital with 2 IVs in my arms, I still was working 18 hours a day because I just didn't have a team. I didn't delegate. Before I started selling vaginal suppositories, I was a coach. So I was the product. And now that I have a product, I was like, Annie, you have to take care of yourself and you have to get a team. So my first intention being in the hospital was once I get out of here, I'm going to get a virtual assistant. So that is the first thing I did. I didn't even know they were so affordable. If you are an entrepreneur, go on upwork.com. You can find a virtual assistant for $5 an hour. That was the first thing I did. I hired the virtual assistant. I'm very detail oriented. I came up with training materials and training videos, and I just worked with her for a few months until she was processing orders. She was answering emails. She was responding to DMs. She was doing a lot of stuff. And then I just decided I'd rather spend money than time. I decided I want a life. Like, I really want a life. I want to go to the gym again. I want to travel. I want to be with my family. I haven't dated in 3 years, but I got a little time now. I'm going to get to that. But I want to date. Like, there are certain things I want to do, and I can't do it if I'm working 18 hours a day, 6 days a week, doing 100 jobs in my business. As an entrepreneur, you do everything, IT, everything. So that was the first thing I did. And then after I did that, and then y'all, I love y'all so much. The vaginal vitamins we ship to every country on this planet. Like, how y'all have just blessed my business. I just bless y'all every single day. I acknowledge y'all. I'm so grateful for y'all every day. But how it was growing, I hired my best friend. She left her job of 10 years. She's my full-time business manager. I hired my nephew. He left his job that he was at for 5 years. I hired my sister, and I still have my VA who's in the Philippines, and I have another VA who is somewhere. Sorry, God, about that. But now I have 5 full-time employees. Come April of this year, they will have been with me all for a year or more. And I'm telling you guys, delegating is the key to self-care. Like, I know they tell us to do it all, and as women, we feel like kind of inadequate if we feel like we can't do it all. Don't do it all. Have it all. Don't do it all.
Yes, I love that. Don't do it all, have it all. So, Annie, were you nervous? Like, you have this idea to have this vaginal vitamin, right? But were you nervous of like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be talking about yeast infections, I'm gonna be talking about moisture, I'm gonna be talking about good sex? Like, were you nervous like getting on social media, having these conversations?
I was so nervous. First of all, it was never my intention to start this business. This business came out of nowhere. I put one post on social media because I talk a lot of smack. I come from a spades playing family, so we talk smack. February 12th, 2020, it was the day where everybody was balancing them brooms on social media. Y'all remember that? Drop the broom emoji if y'all remember that day. And so I just thought of something because I have been making these suppositories for myself, family, and friends for 5 years, but I was never going on the internet talking about private parts. Like, where do they do that at? So I just was like, y'all can balance them brooms, but can you balance them pHs? I was just talking to Mac, like just being funny. And then I just put this post, like, I make these homemade vitamins, blah, 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 blah. DM me if you're interested. I got 40 DMs in one day.
Wow.
One day. And they never stopped coming. They never stopped coming. They never stopped coming. So then I was like, oh my God, I'm getting DMs about I got the product and it's improving the intimacy in my marriage. Like, I got the product and I have more confidence as a woman because I'm not having certain vaginal issues. And I'm like, I can't be selfish with this. So I just started talking about vaginas on the internet. And it was so amazing because even though we all have one and none of us would be here without one, there are so many people who are afraid to have a conversation about so many things we go through down there. And so I was just grateful that I did it afraid. Like, I was so afraid posting about this product. I was so afraid kind of changing my brand. I went from like a coach to talking about vaginal health and hygiene. And I was like very nervous, but I had to get out my feelings and I had to get in my bag. And I think a lot of times I did it afraid. Yes, I think a lot of times we are so in our feelings and like we can't afford to because the world is waiting on your gift. The world is waiting on your idea. The world is waiting on your product or service. And you got to get out your feelings and you got to get in your purpose and you got to get in your bag, honestly.
You want to know what's crazy? Like, when I tell y'all, this is the same thing I said in week 1, but do you see how the women in my life were all aligned, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like Annie and I, we don't talk every day, but I respect her and I honor her. And somebody, Missy or Jamira, can you guys please drop the website for Annie's vaginal vitamins? Somebody's asking for them. And I will say, you know what's so amazing, guys, is my husband, Dr. Husband, he's my producer on this show. And when I was telling him about Annie being my guest, he's like, she better. She better. Okay. Dr. Johnson knows what's up. Silly question, is it vegan? She actually does have a vegan option.
I do.
Hey, go ahead. I'm over here selling.
When we start, I love you. Thank you, brand ambassador. And so when we started selling them, we only had a gelatin capsule, but I really listened to my audience. So a lot of people are like, I really want to try it, but I'm vegan and I don't put that in my body. So we have a vegan capsule. It's 100% plant-based. It's our top seller. And so, yeah, girl, you can definitely get one.
Yes. And guys, I hope this is a safe space because we're all women. But when I tell you that I live by it. Okay. And the thing is, when I started using them, I didn't even tell my husband because I'm like, I want to see if he notices a difference. Because, like, sometimes when you tell, I don't know, when you guys tell your partners, right, whatever season in your life that you're in, I feel like then they're going to expect it. So I'm like, let me do it and let me see if there was a difference. And sure enough, Dr. Husband was like, whoa, was it the gym? Did you work out? Was it like a different diet? Well, actually, my friend Annie got these vaginal vitamins. He's like, stock up. Okay. We need a lifetime supply. So this is something like I would never have somebody on here. Like, when I tell you I could vouch, I was about to like call out my friends that I know use them, but I'm not gonna put them on blast like that. But like my friends, I have gifted these vaginal vitamins. I even asked my mom, and my mom got super weird. But I'm like, Mom, you older, you still trying to,
I give my mom really about it because like we don't talk about like vaginal health. So one thing that happens is as we get older, like our estrogen goes down and our testosterone goes up. So there's this thing, it's called vaginal atrophy. So you just, as you get older, you get less and less wet over time, and people don't talk about it. And my mom is 72 and she's not sexually active at this time, but she's like, it's painful down there sometimes just being so dry and friction. So I give them to her. You don't have to be sexually active. You do not need a man for these vitamins. This is for you and your self-care. And my mom uses them, and they have really restored her confidence, her comfort, everything, you
It's
know?
so true. And then I think like oftentimes when we're listening to songs, right? Like WAP, I feel like it plants messages like, well, dang.
I should be like this.
Right.
And if I'm
Well,
not,
honey, you got an
something's wrong
answer.
with me as a
You got an
woman.
answer.
I do. Like, y'all gonna be the WAP queen. Forget Cardi, forget Megan. Y'all gonna be the WAP queen if y'all use them. I'm telling y'all, it is crazy.
Yes. Okay.
Crazy.
So one last question. I want to honor Annie's time. Annie, what one piece of advice would you give to women to dream out loud?
Okay. I really had to think really hard about this. Okay, so the one thing I would say is failure is not the opposite of success, it's the prerequisite for it. Failure is not the opposite of success, it's the prerequisite for it. As women, I feel like we in society put a lot of pressure on ourselves to be perfect, to have it all figured out, etc. So a lot of times we don't even get started because we don't feel good enough, we don't feel perfect enough, we don't feel ready enough. And all of that is a lie. You are ready. Start where you are. You're going to fail your way to success. You're going to fail your way forward. I promise you, if it's not a loss, if it's a lesson, if you, like you were saying, like you look at your content, you analyze the data, etc. Sometimes you feel like this why I don't post. This why I don't post because I made the post. Nobody liked it. No, learn from that. What is my audience asking me for? What do you guys want? Like, it's not a loss, it's a lesson if you learn. So don't be afraid to fail because you are going to fail your way to success. Please don't let that stop you.
Yes. Okay. And everybody wants to know one more time, where can they follow you and where can they get their vitamins?
Y'all can follow the vitamins at vvitamins underscore on Instagram and TikTok. And you can go to vaginalvitamins.com to get yours.
Yes. All right, guys, clap it up for Annie. Make sure you guys follow her. Her personal Instagram, which I love, is at Annie the Libra. Annie spelled just like regular Annie. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Annie the Libra at Annie the Libra. And she always puts a smile to my face. So make sure you guys follow her. Annie, we love you. I thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.
Listen, wasn't that such a treat? Like, I love me some fellow moguls. I love my sisters in success. They are just so, so dope. Make sure you guys follow Annie. I'm like, I love that now you guys have secrets because, like, there's certain things that I feel like we have just for us. And now all 52 of us in this room know the secret sauce. So make sure you guys get your vitamins. It's a game changer. I could be a brand ambassador for it. Okay, so we have a couple minutes left. What questions do you have about personal branding or social media? I know last week I had left like 5 minutes for questions and answers, and we kind of like fell short. But I wanted to make sure that today you guys had at least 15 minutes to quote unquote pick my brain, even though I do hate that. I hate that question, guys. I'm gonna tell you guys why I hate that question. If you guys have a mentor or someone you admire or somebody that you want to work with, do not ever say, "Can I pick your brain?" I think that's low key offensive because their brain is very expensive. So, like, oftentimes people will tell me, like, "Can I take you to coffee?" I will DM them back. Is this a consultation or a conversation? Right? Where should I send my invoice? Because it's disrespectful of my time if you want to receive information for free. I think that's why platforms like this, series like this is so important because these are opportunities that you're taking 1 hour out of your night for. And I don't take that lightly. I know that as women, we have a million things going on. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. So I appreciate that. And I want to make sure that I bring value to your day. But at the same time, when people want to pick my brain or ask me for free advice, it's like, yo, I have a whole coaching service. Did you look at my website first? So that was, if you guys have somebody that you admire, always start with service. So like, let's say Annie, right? If one of you guys are like, oh my gosh, I want to start a product, don't hit up Annie on Instagram and say, hey, Annie, can I pick your brain? Always start the conversation with, hey, Annie, how can I serve you? When are you having an event? Do you need help setting up? I promise you, if you lead with service will always lead to success. Okay. Let's go to these questions. What's Annie's IG again? It's at Annie the Libra. Great question, girl. I know that's right. Y'all about to follow my girl right now. How do you set your brands apart? Okay, so I will say that setting your brands apart is making sure that you know who you are. So if you guys missed the first portion or weren't here last week, you are the secret sauce, baby girl. You are what sets you apart. And the more authentic you can be in doing you, the more your brand will be set apart. Like for me, I don't want to be anybody else than Elaine Gonzalez Johnson. I don't want to dress like nobody else, talk like nobody else. I think it's so dope when you guys hit me up and be like, you just better, because you know that that's what I say, right? But it's because I'm being authentically myself that's what's setting me apart from other speakers, from other planner creators, from other people who have nonprofit organizations. So get good with you. You want to know what's going to set you apart? Getting good with you and getting good with sharing your message, your greatness, your authenticity with the world. How do you do that, you ask? You do that by being consistent in your messaging. When we talk about personal branding, when we're talking about social media, you cannot post once a month and think that's consistent. Somebody was just like, I wish I had your life. All you do is get on Instagram for a living. I wish that was true. I do wish that was true. The truth of the matter is that I have strategy, data, and a whole lot of spirit of the living God behind what it is that I do. It's not just social media. Social media is probably 5% of what I do, but it's a lot of connecting. It's a lot of pitching myself to brands and partners. It's a whole lot of prayer. It's a whole lot of not believing that I could do it, but I do it anyways. That is what has gotten me to this point. All right. Do you schedule your content release on different social media platforms? Yes and no. When you are scheduling your content, it's really tricky because you want to make sure that you're not tone deaf. All right. So I'll use Annie's business for an example. Let's say that a war just erupted. That's a bad example because that will probably happen. Lord, I'm gonna take it back. Okay, let's say that there was a fire. Like I feel like I got to use my words, very, very much better. But let's say that there was a fire, right? There's a huge fire and all these people died. And while this is going on, Annie scheduled to have a post about her vaginal vitamins come out at the same time. That's going to make Annie look a little bit tone deaf. Because now people going to be like, oh my gosh, girl, there's a fire and you over here promoting your vaginal vitamins, right? So I'm a little bit weary of having things post my content for me. If you do love having a self-scheduled post schedule, there are like different platforms for that. I would just say that when something happens in the world, if you have something scheduled, make sure you're not tone deaf. For me, I have a lot of empathy for people, for situations, for life. And so I kind of like to be in control. So that's where I would use an assistant. So you heard Annie talk about her virtual assistant. You can hire an assistant for $5 an hour that will post your content for you so that you can make that quick call if something in the world happens and say, hey, you know what? Like, for example, when the Capitol was attacked, right? It's like, I didn't post, hey, purchase my plant based slave. That was really scary for me. So I didn't post anything. So same for you. I hope that was helpful. All right. If you offer a product or service, do you recommend promoting it on your personal social media or starting a separate social media account? Okay, Melissa, great question. I am a very stingy person when it comes down to my personal brands, right? So even though I don't post often on Plan Pray Slay IG, no one is going to have Plan Pray Slay IG but me. So I'm a really firm believer of owning all your ideas, right? So Mogul Mami, can y'all believe somebody tried to take Mogul Mami? And so, bye girl. I ended up taking Mogul Mami on Instagram, but I wanted to make sure that I'm an owner of all the brands that represent me. So Mogul Mami is now trademarked. I just better walk in my greatness. But like before Mogul Mami was trademarked, there was somebody who had the name. She ended up changing it to something else. And so I snagged it. But I use my personal page to do a lot. So I'll talk about Latinas Emotion on my personal page, Mogul, Mami, Pamper, Slay, husband, kids, whatever, because my brand is directly connected to me as a person. Now you have to make that decision. So, like, if you have a makeup brand, right? And maybe you're making the decision that I don't want to be the face of this brand. I want this makeup brand to be its own brand, right? Then you would make a whole separate website, a whole separate social media handles for this makeup brand because you don't want to be the face of it. To be honest, being the face of a brand is a little bit exhausting because people think you're never low. People think you're never sad. People think you can't have a bad day, right? And so looking back now, I'm like, dag, some days I'm like, I should have just had a planner, right? Like nobody knows who's the founder of the Passion Planner because their face isn't everywhere. But when you think of Time Slay, you automatically think of Elaine. So like for me, I work hard. I'm working harder now on building communities so that it's not just Elaine telling you how amazing these planners are. It's a community of women telling you how amazing these planners are, right? It's not just Elaine telling you that you're powerful and you have purpose, but now I've created this community of women who are owning and walking in their purpose. And so I would say, Melissa, make sure that you're making the decision for yourself. But even if you're deciding, like, I want to be the face of it, snag up all them names, girl. Okay. Even if you don't got the website, make sure all your social medias are taken because people are crazy. Like, I have Plan, Pray, Slay the Planner. Somebody created a Pray, Plan, Slay podcast and started to invite people that I know and knew me as guests on the podcast. And I was really upset at first because I'm like, oh my gosh, like if somebody had a VW vitamin, I would let Annie know, like, hey Annie, VW vitamins, they invited me to come speak just to make sure that she's kind of aware of what was going on. But then when I started to feel like that, I also had to remember number one was for me will not pass me. Number two, God has already ordained and put my name in places, rooms, and things that I haven't even thought of yet. And number three, I'm good with me. So whoever want to copy, duplicate, do it too, that's fine because I'm just over here walking in my God-given excellence. Melissa, I hope that was helpful. Okay, how do we make the switch clean up switch or clean up our existing IG and rebrand? Should we make an announcement or just start posting the new content with certain aesthetic? Okay, so Christina, I would say if you're going to make an announcement, it's because you're announcing something. Does that make sense? So like if I was writing a book, right, and I wanted to change my whole aesthetic and vibe, right, I would do like a countdown of like, okay, save the date 429. I'm just using 429 because that's my birthday and that's my husband's birthday and we live happily ever after. But I would say, okay, 429, huge announcement. But make sure that in your mind you're already planning out your weeks. For me, and also I'm gonna give you this tip, give yourself 4 weeks for people to get excited about something. Okay, so if it's something big like a brand change, a rebrand, a book, a new product, don't just like have this pen and then the next day be like, hey, everybody, buy this pen. No, week one, you're going to say, first of all, the color pink is the game changer because the color pink represents wellness. I'm making this up. I'm just helping you guys out. The color pink what represents wellness. Then in week two, you're going to say, you've never signed checks until you sign checks with this pink pen. Don't you worry, 429 is coming up. Then week three, you're going to have all your friends and all your friends are going to have pink pens. And then you're all going to say, you know what? You could sit with us if you have a pink pen. Guys, I know that this example is probably making y'all clench your invisible pearls, but just stay with me. The point of the matter is that you're going to start giving yourself 4 weeks to release this pink pen. We are no longer going to say, hey, everyone, buy this pink pen. Yo, add some strategy, add some content, add some description. Tell people why they need what you got because can't nobody do it how you do it. Can't nobody create this pink pen the way Elaine creates this pink pen, and that's why you need this pink pen. Okay? Okay. I hope that was helpful. All right, we have time for one more. That's exactly what I needed to hear. Okay, I know that's right. Okay, I love the world's waiting for you to walk in your destiny. You and Jemima have inspired me to become a fitness instructor. Simone, you just better. Okay, so these are all good vibes. All right, so 2 more minutes left. Here are the couple things I want you guys to know. Number one, if you are not subscribed to the listserv, make sure you subscribe because we got some giveaways. I'm actually gonna purchase three vaginal vitamins so that I could give them away next class. I haven't decided how I'm gonna give them away yet. So let me let that marinate. But I want to make sure I bless y'all. It's blessing season. It's feeling like you season this season. And I want to make sure you got your vitamins to get your whole life. But I'm going to make sure that you guys have the link. There you go. All right. So if you have not subscribed, make sure that you subscribe to the email list so that you guys can know when the prizes are coming, know when you need to do these little challenges I be making y'all do. Lastly, I had sent out an email last week asking you guys to do the homework of the Orikis, and y'all thought I forgot, but I didn't. Now, I had asked for the first 10 people and they would get a prize. I got like 20. Y'all are quick. Unfortunately, I could only give out 10. But shout out to Shauna Green, Tykia Marshall, Jasmine O'Quendell Johnson, Carla Mendez, Melissa Garcia, Natalie Henriquez, Johanna Velez Grundy, Carmen Alicea, Malcia Martinez. I'm sorry if I got your name wrong, boo. You could correct me. And Melissa Vega Willis. You guys earned a $50 Snipes gift card. I will email you. I'll ask you for your address so I can send this over to you. But this is like, y'all getting real money. You getting money, okay? So when I send you guys homework, I'm sending you the homework via email. So that's why you need to make sure you're subscribed to the listserv so that when I send you these assignments, you are the first person to submit and get these amazing gifts. Giveaways. Thank you so much to my partners at Snipe for all you do. Ladies, if you want to continue to enjoy these sessions on YouTube for the remainder of the month, I need you to share this video. This video recording will be posted. Share it with as many people as possible because Snipes is definitely watching. So y'all want more of this good free content, you got to make sure you invite other women, share the replay. The more views we have, the more abundance our way. So don't forget, next week we are back 8 p.m. Thursday, YouTube, Mogul Mami TV, streaming live here on YouTube. I love y'all. I cannot wait to see y'all. Make sure that you guys repost anything that you want from tonight. Tag me, tag Annie, tag Snipes. I know that's right. And I will see you guys Thursday. Love y'all.